Hello, everybody. Welcome to DJ Podcast. This one is another episode of Being Your Highest Self. Occasionally, I'm going to take the questions off TikTok because that's kind of where I started this thing, and it's not a question to me directly, although he did comment on my comment, and that's how we got here. This one is going to be hold on. This one's gonna be he reached out to me. He didn't know he was reaching out to me. But we're both in the same we're both trying to find ourselves spiritually. So this podcast is gonna be not directly only for his name is Davy DAVI underscore NC dot I. We're both listening to Bashar, the extraterrestrial that's channeling through Daryl Anka, and I'm gonna play for you the clip that both of us commented on. So here it goes.
If there's parallel realities, each one having a slightly different version of me, then how do I know choosing a parallel reality can make a difference since I'm in all of them?
You are not in all of them. The idea is that each of those versions is its own distinct person. But the idea is that what you experience through continuity as a change in yourself is not a change in your personality. It is a shift of your consciousness to express itself through a completely different personality, a completely different person. So any change, as we have said, is a total change. And since you are shifting billions of times per second, you are literally shifting your consciousness through billions of people per second, billions of versions of you. But versions of you are not you in the sense of the personality. It's only you in the sense of your consciousness, your overall consciousness that perceives itself to be itself. But any change in what you consider your personality to be is actually your consciousness now perceiving through a different person entirely.
And so that also applies to the idea of being an infinite being that always exists, because everything is always perceived as happening, in a sense, to you.
Correct.
Regardless of what environment, what reality you're experiencing.
Correct.
It's a very interesting phenomenon.
Yes.
So this particular sound clip of Bashar talking to this lady, it deals a lot with frequencies. I know he didn't use the term frequencies, but it's a concept that I was having trouble with, and I must have listened to that sound clip, 20 times, because this whole idea of you never change what planet you're on, you never change the earth that you're on, you only change the perception of what you were seeing. And eventually, and this kind of led me to the idea, this soundbite led me to the idea of just playing the sound clips that I'm hearing and deciding that other people are thinking exactly what I'm thinking. Boy, I really want to understand this concept a little bit better. So that's why I'm making this podcast for the TikTok guy who I woke up this morning. I scrolled through a bunch of the TikToks. I often start my day with the TikToks, and at first I think to myself, watching TikToks is addictive. Like, it's addictive to the point where I'm harming myself. But ever since I've started using it in a way that I'm trying to get information from it, I validate the fact that it has a lot of good sources. TikTok uses a lot of good sources. Remember that whole submarine thing where the submarine was imploding at the bottom of the Atlantic next to the Titanic? That crazy billionaire who decides to make an inferior carbon fiber sub and eventually ends up killing four people plus him. It's real tragic, honestly. But what TikTok allowed me to do was get all of a sudden there's 10 deep dive experts. That's not something the news media can do. Get 10 deep dive experts. They could do it, but they're not going to have an extensive, even on TikTok, a 3 to 5 minute explanation of what a real submersive expert is looking at. All of a sudden, the what's the guy? Hold on. James Cameron, one of the best submersible divers in the world. He went to the bottom of the Marianas Trench, 30,000 feet under the water, and he's like, no, this carbon fiber is not going to work, right? So I'm getting all of these sources flying at me 30 seconds to a minute at a time, but I learn a lot from it. My recent political view has been shifted because of TikTok, and that's the scary part to the government, right? And anyways, I don't want to make this a political podcast. I want to focus in on the Bashar comment. We don't actually change the planet that we're on. We just change the perspective that we're seeing. So the way that I like to see it, the way that I like to envision it, and after talking it through. Sorry, I get so excited doing these podcasts. So this is like my excitement, and doing this podcast directly to you. It's kind of exciting to me. So I'm really hoping that you understand what I'm saying, but I want you to picture your eyes. It's not like a camera. See, we're always picturing our eyes as a camera. It's recording what we're seeing. I want you to picture your eyes as projecting what we are seeing. Okay? And this is kind of the best way I could explain what I think changing your frequency means, and changing your vibration means, and changing, like he said, you are shifting through multiple, you're constantly shifting through multiple versions of yourself. Okay? Now, if we're watching television, and we're watching a television show of our lives, or of other dimensions of our lives, just imagine you were watching it and you just kept hitting channel up. And you're like, boy, it's the same damn thing on all the damn time. Like, I don't understand how every time I hit the channel up button, it's not something different. But see, that's the thing. Basically, the idea is that there are billions of channels, there are billions of frequencies, there are billions of ultimate universes. We're in that exact same moment, right? I'm sitting here recording a podcast right now, 9:23 a.m., November 12th. I'm recording this, and if you're watching me change the frequency to a new channel, it would still be me, David James, recording DJ Podcast to this guy on TikTok. I woke up scrolling through, and here's this little snippet of this little question, this comment to me. All of a sudden I notice, and I want to learn more about this too. And so it excited me to wake up 9:30 in the morning. You know how many times I've woken up at 9:30 on a Sunday morning and said, let me go to work? No, never. Let me go and record a podcast for this Davey.I_I, whatever his tag handle is, you know. Yeah, that sounds like fun to me. Like, that sounds like a lot of fun. And also, like I've said this in the other podcast, just to keep reassuring myself, you know, this life path that I'm on, the following the Bashar, channeling, doing the tarot cards, becoming this higher spiritual self of myself. Is this real? Is this the actual reality? Like, is my higher self right now up there or wherever it could be? We always think the higher self is a physical being, like, above us, right? Right? But it's like, nah, it's just out there in the universe. You know what I mean? But right now, the part that is connected to this Dave is just glowing green right now. Just yes, he's finally starting to understand it. He's finally starting to go through. Like this is his excitement. This is his passion. Wow, this is exciting. So it's raising my frequency. It's raising my frequency, and does it look any different in this room? No. It's the same room, the same 600 square foot apartment, the same shoes on the ground, the chair over there, there's a fridge. I got, you know, my bedroom. If I go in the bedroom, I would see the bed the same way that I left it, all messy, because I don't believe in making the bed, because later on at night I'm just going to get inside the bed and it's just going to come unmade. So what's the point? Plus, I read this article saying there's actually less bacteria in a messy bed than in an unmade bed, because we allow the bed to breathe, and the your overnight sweat to evaporate off. But if you nicely make the bed, you're trapping that moisture in. Right? So hopefully that helps you out with should I make the bed in the morning or not. I don't. I never do. It doesn't matter. You're wasting your time and energy on it. But if making your bed excites you, then do that. Right? But anyways, so my frequency is changing right now. It's got to be elevating right now. Everything around me is still exactly the same. The idea is, when I leave this moment, that I can retain a higher frequency than I started out with this morning. Even if it's just a tiny bit higher, I'm achieving that goal. I'm achieving that. What is your highest self? What motivates your highest self to get out and do something positive today? You know, to get out and do something that betters yourself. And along the way, you will slowly find things that you don't really know what to do with now. And I'm going to give you a kind of a simple example. About a month ago, remember the supermoon? About a month ago, we were doing the supermoon thing on TikTok, and I have a feeling mine and yours algorithms are kind of similar. Talking to the guy directly that I'm doing this podcast for, and you two had these supermoon videos and people talking about it. And anyways, if not, that's okay. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you understand what I'm talking about. I took screenshots of this supermoon, and I sat there for 3 hours just listening to the guy vibe on tape. I should probably find his and put a little plug in here for him so he gets a little boost up. Maybe I'll tag him in it. You know, I'll find his channel and I'll tag him in it. I'm gonna do a small TikTok bringing you to this channel. This channel meaning my YouTube channel. I'm sorry, this channel meaning my podcast channel. I don't know if this uploading to YouTube thing is working. It's supposed to take the audio and put it on YouTube. I don't think that's something I have to work harder on, is expanding my podcast to more platforms, especially YouTube. I think somehow recording myself and putting it on YouTube would be a great idea. But anyways, back to what I was saying. If I stay at this frequency, or if I can elevate myself where this is the minimum frequency that I'm at, I'm going to stay at it longer, and then my eyes will start projecting. Instead of thinking your eyes of absorbing the content around you, it's almost like projecting your new frequency, right? And if I stay in it long enough, I'm going to slowly realize that everything that I do is aiming towards this goal. Like I said, I was taking screenshots of the moon, the supermoon. Well, the supermoon is now going to be, the picture is now going to be the picture for my spiritual podcast. And I think it's a perfect image for a spiritual podcast, because everybody looks at the moon and goes, that is a spiritual thing. I think everybody looks at it and thinks something about being a higher self, a higher being. It's so gorgeous, isn't it? Like when the moon is a big full moon on a starry night, and it's just the clouds. Even sometimes clouds can enhance the moment of staring at the moon. And I'll stare at it for hours sometimes. Just sit outside and watch it. And it's just so fun to do. Sometimes even clouds will come across, and it's like, wow, that's kind of cool. The moon is coming right through that square of that cloud at this moment, and I'm experiencing the moon in this viewpoint. The only way I can experience it right now, here in the now, in the moment, in this reality, in the reality that I'm viewing it through. And for those hours that I'm watching the moon, I am just having a really good time, and it's not like I'm doing anything. I'm not dancing. Maybe I'm listening to music. Maybe I'm doing something like that. But I'm not I'm not at a party. I'm not doing something that that people would generally see as, boy, he is having fun. I'm not laughing. I'm smiling. I'm having a good time. I might be laughing. I'm talking with somebody. We're reminiscing. We're just sitting there having a really good moment, and it's not being spoiled. And the moon is setting the overtone, right? And it's always positive. I never look up at the moon and go, boy, this is a negative experience, right? I always look up at the moon, especially when it's a big full moon, and when it's low at the equator and it's orange, and it's always something where I go, hey, did you see the moon last night? It was so cool. It was so cool. And I'm sitting there for 3 hours, and I'm just going, wow, that 3 hours flew by. That 3 hours flew by. And Bashar will even relate to those moments as you being ageless, right? Because you're having such a good time doing that. You're actually not aging during those moments. So the secret to living longer is having these moments of pure extreme. This excites you to the core. And at the time of doing that, just sitting there and relaxing, I'll be smoking marijuana or some sort of that to me is part of it. It's part of the excitement, and just like total wind down, total relaxation, total boy, this is just something that you can vibe with. That is raising my frequency. The supermoons, the eclipses, all those things are just something that I'm always searching for it. And whenever it happens, I want someone to tell me about it. I want someone to say, Dave, go out tonight and watch the moon, which is another reason why I like TikTok. People will tell me, on this day and this day, this is going to happen. Go outside this day, go out, and there's going to be a meteor shower. And it's people giving me information that I would have never, ever come across before, right? Because it's hard for me, like, what am I going to do? Constantly be Googling next time I should be looking at the moon? No, there are people out there. That's the thing. That's the best part about social media and TikTok and all this. If you use it, see, there are people out there whose passion, whose excitement is paying attention to the phases of the moon. And they get on TikTok and they're, guys, this is gonna be really excited. If you're part of this, if you're part of this crowd, you're gonna be super excited to do it. And when you are part of that crowd, and you stare at the moon for 3 hours. Some people would say, Dave, boy, that was a waste of time. You're staring at the moon for 3 hours. Sorry, like I said, it's an amateur podcast, and occasionally I'm trying to get over this cold, and occasionally I'm gonna pause to breathe, because when I'm doing these, I get so excited, and just a little bit of airway restriction because my nose is plugged is causing me to cough. So I get so excited to do this podcast, especially when I'm talking about something that I love to talk about, you know? But anyways, someone else will say, Dave, you wasted those 3 hours last night. You should have never sat out there. You should have like done the dishes. You should have vacuumed. You should have cleaned up. And it's like, no, this is my excitement. This is what I like to do. I'm going to sit here and do this. The dishes can wait. The vacuuming can wait. Everything can wait at this moment, because all those things can be done at a different time. I don't have to be at work right now. I don't have to be doing that. So I will be doing this. Helping you with your homework can wait. Shopping can wait. For you, everything that you guys are doing, hey, you're people too. You can go and do it. Me helping you every day of your life, helping you achieve all the goals in your life, and me being the hero, the achiever, the one who gets all the shit done in our world, right? That is really strainful on me. And yes, in general, I will continue being the Dave that I will be and that I am, and I will help you along, being the guy who pays the bills, being the guy who pays the rent, being the guy who gets up and does the dishes, being the guy who does that. Being that person that you rely on will only make me stronger. But for this moment, this is the moment I need in my life to achieve the goals that you want me to get done, this little honey-do list, this little chore list. I need to go look at the moon for 3 hours. That is what I need to do for myself. Right? And yes, I will help with the chores, and I'll do it, and you do a great job doing the chores that you do. But I'm here. I am here. Right now, I'm doing the chores I need to do. I am watching the moon. Because it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good to do it. And then here I am. I got my new cover art for my spiritual podcast. I'm raising my frequency. It doesn't feel like anything. It's not like a certain action that I'm doing. Like people, I think people think to themselves, if I sit here and hum, then my frequency is I'm going to instantly be the new Dave in a new parallel reality, and I'm going to instantaneously be experiencing. I'm going to instantaneously be experiencing this new reality. When it's like, hold on, wait a second. You just changed the channel on your television. You have to wait for the story to unfold. Okay? And And that is what I think, changing your frequency so you shift to a parallel reality. Not you shifting. Your perspective is shifting to a new parallel reality. Right? You're now viewing your new parallel reality because you are becoming the highest you can be. The universe, which is going to be the website. The website for this one is DEEJAY DJ YOUINVERSE.com. Right? That's what it's going to be. So it was another quote, a Bashar quote. The universe, your universe, it is your life. This is quoting him, right? So remember that. Your world is your universe, and the way you perceive it, the way that you perceive it, and the way that you change how you perceive it is always trying to live the moment the best way you can. So in any moment, try and stay positive. If you're at work, hard to stay positive. Try and stay positive. If you stay positive, your work will be better. You might get the promotion you're looking for. You might find that you cannot continue this job anymore. You might find that this is the job that you want to be in. You might find that you need to shift to a new job. Whatever it might be. But if you always stay positive and hone your skills to be the best you can be, you will find that people will hire you. You'll find that people will accept you for who you are. If you're in a bad relationship, you'll find that you can exit that relationship feeling like, you know what, I am better than this. I am better than this. I am more worthy of somebody who supports me in my goals. Who says, you know what, Dave, yes, sit down, do your podcast. And I might record an hour of episodes. Well, you could have been doing something better. No, I could not be doing something better with my life. This is what I need to be doing, and this is what is going to elevate me to the next level at which I want to be at. And it's going to start my eyes the way I picture it in my head now. Using my imagination. Bashar is always talking about using your imagination. So I'm using my imagination going, my eyes are now projectors. And the reason why I'm seeing all this through the third eye, oh boy, that is crazy. Your third eye is the pineal gland, connected to your highest self. But see, this is a realization that I'm having right now. Right now on the podcast, I am having this realization that must be why you have a third eye. Boy, when I really put it together. And see, doing these podcasts, talking through the question out loud in my living room, yelling into a microphone, monitoring the frequency of my voice. I'm literally seeing the frequency of my voice change up and down on my computer as I'm doing this. And I'm watching it to make sure that I'm not yelling too loudly, because then it comes through your speaker. Your perception of it will be bad. And you won't hear exactly what I'm trying to say. So I make sure that my settings are set up so when you hear this, it won't burst your eardrums. But anyways, boy, your third eye is connected to your highest self, and it is seeing what your eyes. It's seeing the reality. The reality is being seen through your third eye, or is your third eye projecting it? And your eyes are seeing it? Boy, which way is it? See, that's what I'm saying. I'm having this revelation right here in front of me. Maybe my third eye is projecting. Is your third eye the projector of life? my God, could that be it? Boy, I'm going to see a TikTok or something about this. Somebody talking about the pineal gland projecting life. I know I'm going to be scrolling through TikTok or going through YouTube, seeing, you never see anything good on television. That has been proven for years. But somehow, or somebody is going to say something to me and be like, boy, Dave, that really makes sense. Your third eye is projecting it. Your eyes are seeing it. And you're only seeing what you are projecting out into the world. You're only seeing what you are projecting out in the world. It does not instantaneously change. That is impossible. That is physically impossible for you to physically jump to a new planet, to a new thing. But there is another planet that looks identical to your world that you are shifting the projection of your third eye, and now you're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're feeling it, you're touching it, you are doing what your highest self can't possibly be doing, which is experiencing the world. That is what your highest self is hoping that you do. Because you are the body. You have the nerve endings, you have the eyes, you have the ears, you have the nose, you have the mouth. And someone's going to say, well, what about blind people? Have you ever done this yourself? Like, if you are a person who can see, have you ever closed your eyes and tried to walk around your house and become blind? And be like, could you get from your bedroom to your living room without tripping and killing yourself and breaking your neck? Probably not. I've tried it. Like, how do they cook? Blind people cook. They set everything up. They set everything up in their house. Imagine being able to experience your life as a blind person. Your highest self might one day set that experience up for you. You might come back to Earth as a blind person. Oh, me, why me? Crying about why my eyes, I can't see, why me? That's the way you're going to grow up as a kid, and you'll eventually become an adult. And people will be constantly telling you, wow, Dave, you're so brave walking around as a blind person. You're so brave doing that. Look, you have your seeing eye dog. You have your cane. You got all these. You got all these objects to help you see your world. You know, but still, to truly experience yourself as a blind person, you would have to live a life as a blind person. And that is what your highest self is doing. It's continuously saying, boy, wouldn't it be cool to live a life as a man in Africa? Bam. Your next life, you might be a person in Africa. All right, wouldn't it be cool to live your life as a female in Africa? Bam. Now you're a female in Africa. Wouldn't it be cool to live your life as a scientist in Africa? Boom, now you're a scientist in Africa. Wouldn't it be cool to live your life as a kid in, I call myself a kid, 36 years old. My soul is a child. You know what I mean? I've always kept that youthful feel about myself. Would it be cool to be a 36-year-old man in Colorado, working and managing a restaurant, a fast food restaurant? Well, bam. It might not sound exciting to me, but to my highest self, it's like, whoa, that is an experience. Meaning everything that I have experienced, my highest self has been like, hey, that's a pretty interesting experience. Wow, you went through divorce, you went through the total heartbreak of that. You went through this. Now you're living by yourself in Colorado. Now you're recording podcasts, telling somebody what you believe is the change in frequency and shift. Wow, that is an interesting thought, right? Like the life that you're living right now is chosen by your highest self. People will say, well, what about someone going around and killing people? What about that? Boy, unfortunately, there's free will. But the way I see it is you need to tune your frequency because these old school like serial killers, they watch you and observe you. So you need to tune your frequency to be able to notice when strange things are going around, and you need to make sure that you are a higher frequency than that person, because your highest self will protect you from that person. If you truly believe that you're in a higher frequency than that person, then they will find you to not be interesting. That's the way I see it. So, you need to continuously be your highest self so you could pick up and sense these things that are going around you, right? You need to be aware of what is going on, right? That is what you have to do. You have to raise your frequency so then you are living your best life, and people who are at a lower vibration, the negativity, the bad, the evil will stay away from you, because you know what? You are just too high of a frequency for them to perceive. Right? And so that's what I see it. People say, well, what about paralyzed people? Could you imagine living a life as a paralyzed person? I can't. But your highest self might one day go, boom, there's a life. You can now experience that and gain the experience, gain the knowledge, gain what it feels like to be that person. Thus making yourself a better person. Making your highest self an even higher self of itself. Experiencing everything. Your highest self is out there experiencing everything all at once. It's experiencing the past, the present, the future, right? The concept of time is something that we invented here on this planet because we need it to survive in this society. Right? I often say, what year is it on Mars? I don't know. we made up the year here on Earth, but what year is it on Mars? I have no clue what year it is on Mars. Maybe one day I will live a life as a Martian, and I'll figure out that answer. Wouldn't that be cool? Right? All right. So anyways, there we have it. DJ Podcast. My name is David James. This podcast was meant for you in a way that I shared it with you. It's my gift to you. And something that Bashar says. Let's see if I can quickly find the sound clip of the gift.
Waiting to receive it that needs it. Remember this. If you believe you have a gift to give, there will always be someone waiting to receive it that needs it. There's no such thing as you being excited about giving a gift and there's no audience for it. There's no such thing. This is the paradox that we call the one-sided coin. If you have the head, the tail's got to be there. If you have a gift, the receiver has to be there, or you wouldn't be excited about giving that gift if that is truly your excitement. So you have to know, no matter how you do it, no matter how long it takes, no matter how rough it seems, if you have a gift to give, someone needs to receive it. So don't deprive them by waiting too long to be yourself. Remember this.
No, I love that. This is my gift to you. A podcast that I made for you. And like he said, no matter how rough it seemed, to me it seems very rough. Like, boy, it needs to be edited and polished. No, I'm just going to put it out there. This is it. It's a podcast to you, explaining to you and giving you a little bit of story about me. Here you go. Now, what you do with this, what you do with the information is up to you. I can't tell you what to do with the information I've given you. I can't tell you with the experience I've shared with you. I can't tell you what to do with it, because as soon as I put a expectation of what you will do with the gift, it is no longer a gift. So I'm putting it out there for you. My podcast to you is my gift to you. And you're welcome. That's what it is. So DJ Podcast, my name is David James. And there we have it. I'm going to go out with how I like to end all these podcasts. I'm going back to one of my meditation sounds. We'll do African Jungle. It's the frogs. I love the frogs.